Has inflation eaten away at your book profits? Perhaps you want to start advertising and need some margin. Or perhaps readers are not taking you seriously with your current low price. So you plan to raise the price for your book. But how should you do it? Most authors raise prices quietly. One day the price just goes up and they hope no one notices. And this is a massive mistake and a missed opportunity. A future price rise is a rare opportunity for a powerful marketing technique called a reverse coupon. In fact, much of the money that I make is with reverse coupons. So what are reverse coupons and how can you use them to boost book sales? We'll find out in this episode of Novel Marketing, the longest running book marketing podcast in the world. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more help expanding your reach and selling more books. So what is a reverse coupon? Well, with a reverse coupon, you announce the price increase ahead of time and give your readers a chance to buy your book before the price goes up. I have personally made more money with this pricing strategy than with any of the other 14 pricing strategies that I talk about in my Book Marketing 101 episode on price. So why? Why is this such an effective technique? Well, it's for several interesting psychological reasons. And the first is anchoring. All prices are relative. And in fact, it's not just prices that are relative, it's weights as well. My 2-year-old, I got used to picking him up, and suddenly when I had a newborn, that 2-year-old just seems so much bigger. Why? Because instead of comparing him to his older siblings, who he's smaller than, I'm now comparing him to his little sister, who he is much larger than. And that change in comparison makes him seem bigger. The same is true for prices. The price that you're comparing a price to is going to make that price seem big or seem small. This is why coupons work, right? Because the coupon is a discount off of the price, and so it makes the discounted price feel like a bargain because it's less than the original price. Well, a reverse coupon uses the same psychological principle of anchoring, but it goes in the other direction. So instead of discounting the price, you give warning of a future higher price, which now makes the current price look like a bargain. And it is a bargain because if they don't buy now, they're going to have to pay more if they want to buy later. And this is one mistake that I made with the Novel Marketing Conference, I will say. I didn't tell anyone how much money they would save with the early bird pricing. I just said early bird pricing ends at the end of October, but I never told everyone the prices are all going up by $100. So I knew better, but I have a new baby, so I'm going to blame it on a lack of sleep. And I will say, if you want to learn more about anchoring, there's a whole lot to explore here. It's a really fascinating topic, and I have an entire episode about anchoring and how you can use it as an author. But it's not the only psychological trigger that makes the reverse coupon so effective. Another is a psychological trigger called loss aversion, which I also have an episode on. So for interesting psychological reasons, people feel losses more than they feel an equivalent gain. So getting an unexpected $100 fee added to a bill that you're expected to pay is far more painful than getting an unexpected $100 credit on a bill that you're expected to pay. By taking away the current low price, you're triggering loss aversion in your readers, and they feel that loss of the current low price. But by giving them a warning, instead of getting angry, they just get around to buying your book. So if someone's on the fence, a reverse coupon will push them into making that final decision, either for or against. So what you'll tend to see with a reverse coupon is you'll flush out a lot of sales and people will finally make up their mind about whether or not they're going to buy your book. And I should point out, a reverse coupon won't make someone start wanting your book. If someone doesn't already want your book, a reverse coupon is going to have no impact on them. It's also not going to help them discover you. And so if a reader doesn't know who you are, having a reverse coupon isn't going to suddenly make you famous. But it does help with the readers who do know who you are. They like you and they're on the fence about buying this particular book. Or they know who you are, but they're on the fence about buying your first book. If you want to learn more about loss aversion, I'll link to the episode specifically on loss aversion in the blog version of this episode. Another social trigger that reverse coupons take advantage of is urgency. Most people don't act without a deadline. Authors need deadlines to write, and readers need deadlines to read. If you're not careful, readers will put off buying your book until tomorrow, and they'll do it again and again, and they will never get around to buying your book. And so you need to find ways of adding urgency, both to the buying and to the reading of your book. And a reverse coupon is a great way to do that. And it does it with a powerful promise. Act now or forever miss out on the current low price. And that's a really simple, straightforward approach. The greater the discount, the greater the urgency. So when selling books, saving a couple bucks may not seem that motivating, but remember, when combined with loss aversion, it works a lot more than you might think. For real-life events, like the Novel Marketing Conference, it helps to know ahead of time how many people to expect. So an early bird price serves us in two ways. One, it creates urgency for listeners to act now and buy a ticket, but it also helps give us an idea how many people to expect for planning purposes. So you'll see reverse coupons used a lot for events, right? We didn't invent having early bird tickets. Almost all events have early bird tickets because they're willing to give a discount to people who will act early for purely logistical reasons. And they kind of accidentally stumble into the fact that this is actually a powerful marketing technique. The other reason why I really like reverse coupons is that they're a golden rule technique. So marketing is not about tricking people into buying something they don't want. Marketing, when done well, is about helping people make decisions that are in their own best interest. And reverse coupons do that, right? And wouldn't you wish that all price rises were accompanied with a reverse coupon, right? Wouldn't you want your gas station to show today's price and tomorrow's price if the price was going up? Wouldn't you want a heads up that if you don't buy today, you're going to pay more tomorrow? You may choose to pay more tomorrow, right? And it's wonderful having that option rather than it being hidden from you. So don't hide it from your readers. Treat them the way that you wish authors would treat you. And I will say, if my episodes on marketing psychology make you feel uncomfortable, you can take comfort that this particular technique is a very white hat technique. So now that you know why they work, let me explain how you can make a reverse coupon work for you. So we're going to get real specific here. And the first step is to build an email list. A reverse coupon is a conversion technique. So to get someone to buy your book, you have to take them through the funnel, attract, engage, convert. They need to know who you are, like you, and trust you. And so this is a technique for that final step, converting them into a customer, getting them to trust you with their money. It really only works on folks who already know you and like you. So knowing that some random book by some author you've never heard of is going to go up in price isn't going to motivate you to buy that book. But knowing that the book you've been thinking about reading from that author you've heard of is about to go up in price, it may just push you to buy. If you need help growing your email list, check out my course, Author Email Academy. It will teach you how to rapidly grow your email list to thousands of subscribers. And we have students who've gone through that and seen just surprisingly quick results. It's very encouraging. So you don't need to be stuck with a small email list. You just need to learn how to grow it. And that's what I teach in the Author Email Academy. And I will say, if you sign up for the Novel Marketing Conference, the Author Email Academy is offered at 80% off for folks attending the conference. So you can be building your list ahead of the conference. So step one is to grow your email list. Step two is to get control over your pricing. Reverse coupons are one of those techniques that traditionally published authors can't use. It seems more and more traditionally published authors really have handcuffs on when it comes to marketing. Now, I will say traditionally published authors can't use this, or at least not easily. It is technically possible. Talk to your agent about your book's pricing, and if your agent thinks that there's a chance that you can convince your publisher to do some price promotions. But in my experience, traditional publishing companies approach pricing very differently from indie authors. They see pricing primarily as a retailer thing rather than as a publisher tool, and they often don't do much with the price. And to give you an idea, it's not uncommon for traditionally published books to have the price printed on the back cover of the book, which means that they're committed to that price for the duration of that print run. So it's not very inflation resistant, and they just don't think about price as something that they can use to help make a book more appealing. Indie authors, on the other hand, do a lot of experimentation and innovation with pricing. They're willing to go both lower and be cheaper than traditionally published books and go higher and be more expensive than traditionally published books. You don't see a lot of trad books with a signed and numbered limited edition print run. Very rare in the trad world, but growingly common in the indie world. On the flip side, you don't see a lot of traditionally published authors experimenting with techniques like permafree, which indies are also willing to do. Indie authors are also more willing to use techniques like skimming and penetration pricing and the other 14 strategies that I talk about in my Book Marketing 101 episode about price. There's nothing revolutionary in that episode. Pricing is a tool that people have used as a marketing tool for thousands of years. I studied it in business school. I summarize it in that episode, but it's just a tool that traditional publishers tend to not use. But your results may vary and your publisher may be one of the good ones. Who knows? So once you get the rights back to your book, or you get control over your pricing, or your publisher is willing to work with you on the price, the next step is to commit in your heart to the new price. Don't use a reverse coupon to experiment with price points. So sometimes you don't know what price is the optimum price for your book. As prices go up, demand goes down, generally speaking. Sometimes demand actually goes up. If you're priced way too low and readers aren't taking you seriously, when you raise your prices, you'll find that demand for the book actually goes up. I found this to be the case when I was running a website business. When I first got started, I was right out of college and I was priced so low that people weren't taking me seriously. And as I raised my prices, more authors wanted to work with me at the higher prices than who wanted to work with me at the lower prices. It kind of blew my mind. So pricing is a fascinating thing. So you may find that there's a sweet spot. In fact, most authors find that there's a sweet spot, an ideal price where they're making the maximum money, where the sales and the money are optimized. So if you're doing experiments to find that price, that's not when you do the reverse coupon. A reverse coupon is when you've already resolved in your heart that the price is going to go up and you're giving your audience a warning. You're giving your readers a warning to act now or forever say goodbye to the current lower price. I would also commit to not doing any discounts or price promotions for at least 3 months, preferably longer. It's okay to put a book on sale in the future if you're doing a reverse coupon for it today, but you need to have those promotions spaced out enough where you don't lose credibility, because you only have one reputation and you don't want to waste it on a reverse coupon that people don't believe. Step 4 is to pick a date. So you want to pick a date far enough in the future where you have time to announce it and warn your audience about the price rise without sending them too many unanticipated emails, but you want it close enough where there's still that sense of urgency. So I recommend something between 2 weeks and 2 months, depending on how frequently you publish books and how frequently you send out newsletters. Also, I will say the bigger the jump, the more notice you'll want to give. So for a $100 price rise, like what's happening with the early bird discount for the Novel Marketing Conference, we're giving a lot of warning. I think we started this early bird pricing over a month ago. So for example, if you only send out one email newsletter a month, I think 2 months of warning makes sense, because then you can just easily mention it once in your 2 email newsletters and you're done. Easy peasy, an easy thing to include in your newsletters. Do make it the subject of the second newsletter, because not everyone reads every email, but if they get an email that says last chance, they'll pay a little bit more attention. Step 5 is to promote the future price rise. So like I said, at least 2 emails, but really you want to promote this like it was a regular coupon. So for example, if you downloaded this podcast episode in your podcast app in October, you would have heard a pre-roll. Before the episode started, you would have heard my voice warning you that early bird pricing for the Novel Marketing Conference is going away. But only if you download it in October. For those of you downloading this episode in the future after the conference is over, there may be no pre-roll at all, or maybe I'll be talking about something else. That's one of the things I like about podcasting and about Buzzsprout specifically, is that I can swap out what the promotions are about. But the main place you want to promote your reverse coupon is on email. So podcasts can be great to create demand, but they're not a good place to get people to take action because it's hard to take action when you're driving or doing the dishes. But when people are checking their email, they're typically either sitting at their computer where it's very easy to take action, or they are holding their phone in their hand where it's also easy to take action. So at least 2 emails, one announcing the price rise, one with some kind of last chance type message. And then if you're sending emails more frequently, just put a reminder. I'm trying to be a good example on how to do this. So we've had our early bird pricing for a month or two. I'm mentioning it in almost every email, but occasionally I'll make a bigger deal about it. And at the end, I can assure you, I'll make a really big deal about it and let you know, last chance, because that urgency really does work. It's very stressful for us financially. Most authors wait until the very last minute to make a purchase. And so we just have to plan accordingly. The final step of your reverse coupon is to purge. So once the price goes up, you want to purge as many mentions of the old price as you can, because now that old price will be an anchor making the new price look expensive, and you don't want that. And no one wants to be reminded that they missed out on a deal or a bargain. And people get enough reminders about inflation at the grocery store, so you don't have to give them as yet one more reminder. So this is one reason why I don't recommend putting the price of your book on the back cover, because once you put that on the cover, you're committed to that price, even if the economy changes or the currency changes or what have you. So for example, on November 1st, I will go in and swap out the pre-roll for this podcast to not mention early bird pricing. And I'll scrub any mention of the early bird pricing from the conference page. So the price will just be the price. So I realize I'm undermining myself a little bit with this podcast episode, but not everyone listens this far into the episodes. But for most people just coming to the page, they won't know about the early bird pricing unless they had already gotten the emails, in which case they had their chance, right? They had a chance to get the ticket at the early bird pricing, and maybe they hadn't decided yet, or they were willing to wait, and that's up to them, right? You're an adult, it's a free country, and I've never had anybody complain that they didn't take the decision that they wish they should have taken when they had the information they needed to make the informed decision. They don't blame me for that. They blame themselves for that. And that's it. You can use reverse coupons when your audiobook price goes up, when your ebook price goes up, when you're doing an early bird pricing for some kind of real life event. It also can work as a Kickstarter reward. Some Kickstarter rewards work well as reverse coupons. So the Kickstarter price is lower than what the retail price will be. And you can also use that if you are doing online courses. If you're going to raise the price of your course, do a reverse coupon. Blow the trumpet. Let people know this is their chance to get a discount. Our featured patron is Michelle Levine, author of Inquest, the AFV Defender Book 4. Join the fearless crew of the AFV Defender, a legendary ship known for their daring adventures and unbreakable bond. But when strange signals from the edges of charted space lead them on a mission with the notorious Inquest, their luck may have finally run out. As they race across the galaxy to uncover the source of the mysterious signals, they must also navigate the dangerous reputation of their new partners. With every step closer to the truth, they realize they may be facing an enemy unlike anything they've encountered before. Michelle Levine, thank you so much for being a patron of the Novel Marketing Podcast. Thank you for your support that helps keep this podcast on the air. I really, really appreciate it. It's the patrons who do give us a little bit of regular revenue that is not urgency-based. And so I appreciate it all the more. And the Novel Marketing Podcast is a production of authormedia.com. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to find the blog post version of this episode, you can find it at authormedia.com/437. I'm Thomas Umstattd Jr. saying thank you for listening and live long and prosper.